Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Welcome to another live stream. Here we go. Looking at the weather situation, it's been persistent now for at least 2 days. It seems like it started prior to the eclipse. That's why I mentioned it in the title. It seems to have picked up where it left off right after the eclipse. So it makes you wonder, hey, Kim Possible, AZ Watchwoman, makes you wonder if this was coincidence? I don't know. Got a monitor back here behind me showing the storm activity. We're going to take a closer look at it. Hey, Polenta, how's everybody doing tonight? Happy Wednesday, middle of the week. Let me get a quick drink here. Sorry about that. I'm a little parched. Hello, everybody. Hey, check it out. If you are possibly in the Florida Panhandle, I wanted to touch base on this again because the situation down here is pretty intense. And it's been like that since the eclipse left. Have you guys noticed that? I mean, we've got a flurry of energy down here in the Florida Panhandle, southeastern Alabama, southwestern Georgia. It's not letting up. I wanted to give you guys some details on what's going on here in this area of the world, especially the United States. Not quite sure if there's tornadoes as of yet. Earlier, I saw 2 water spouts offshore moving to the northeast. And here's the thing. All of this energy is moving to the northeast rather quickly. However, here's the situation. This energy could produce tornadoes after dark. There's never a good time for tornadoes, ever, and especially a nighttime tornado. So I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a heads up, just in case. I know that you're well aware of the safe rooms, but let me just reiterate one more time. If you don't have a plan, have a plan. That'd be great. Sit down with the family and say, hey, since it's dark, we've got storms moving through the area, let's do this. Let's designate this room as the safe room, just in case after dark and we may be in bed asleep or whatever, and if the weather starts to get a little, loud and windy and like maybe there's a tornado in the area, have a room that you all know where to go, and everybody just convenes there, and then everybody's safe. You can see on the map behind me, I don't know what we've got going on here. I don't normally see that on this particular software that I've used. I've been using this for quite a while. It's very accurate software, but that reminds me of some sort of eclipse energy that's kind of lingering around. Again, don't normally see that on here. Not anything nefarious by any stretch of the imagination. However, the weather conditions are a bit nefarious. We are under a tornado watch for the next, where are we at here? Let's get the specifics. I'm going to give you guys the details. The tornado watch expires in 38 minutes, but this could be continued. This is just for now. The National Weather Service, for some reason out of Norman, Oklahoma, calling the tornado watch down here in southeastern Alabama, Florida Panhandle, southwestern Georgia, and the coastal waters until 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That would be 9 o'clock Eastern Time, I'm assuming, because right now it's already 9 o'clock Eastern Time. It's 8:22 Eastern Time right now as I do this video. The blue line that we see right here, this is what they call a mesocyclone discussion right here. See this big blue circle right here? What's going on there is this. I'll show you. The meteorologists that monitor the radar like I'm monitoring it, and I'll tell you guys what those rings are in case you're wondering here in just a minute. They talk about the areas that are affected by this energy, and I'm calling it lingering energy from the eclipse. The energy that connects the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun was in a state of flux temporarily during the eclipse. So I think this is that flux that we're seeing in the form of atmospheric instability that's causing weather situations that you're currently looking at here on the radar, causing tornadoes, high winds, very heavy rains in some places, and these storms are moving very, very quickly. Let me read what they're talking about right here. This is called a mesocyclone discussion, and they go on to say the risk for severe weather has become increasingly negligible, at least in the near term, but could increase once again later this evening across at least coastal portions of the Florida Panhandle around Apalachicola, while the remainder of the tornado watch 103 may be allowed to expire at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and that would be in about 35 minutes. Trends will need to continue to be monitored for the possibility of new severe weather later on this evening. And that's the key right there, guys. Continue to be monitored later on this evening. After dark, look, man, there's no good time for a tornado. It's even 1,000 times worse after dark. And the discussion continues. And these are meteorologists, the men and women that work at the National Weather Service headquarters. They're the ones up here. We're seeing what they're thinking right here. The initially strong and better organized cluster of storms has undergone considerable further weakening as it continues to progress through an environment characterized by stable near-surface lapse rates and less unstable low-level inflow. And then the inflow across the inland and northeastern Gulf coastal areas. Outflow trailing the forward propagating portion of the remnant convection or convective system, now progressing into Apalachicola vicinity, has advanced 60 to 70 miles offshore of the western Florida Panhandle, but appears to have stalled in advance of a significant mid-level shortwave still west of the lower Mississippi Valley. Goes on to say that this situation needs to continue to be monitored into the evening hours well after dark. And as we know, especially folks on the East Coast, it's dark out there. We're going to be watching, all right? There's a lot of people going to be watching, and if there's any tornadoes heading this way, we are on it. And here's the direction that all of this energy is moving. It's moving in a east-northeasterly direction, right up in through here into south central Georgia, east and west central Georgia, and this energy is moving fast. It seems to be, it still has the capability of producing tornadoes, at the very least high winds, and quite possibly large hail. I've had a lot of people ask me what these rings are on the middle of what we see right here, and why the radar is round. Two things. The radar is round because this is a very specific radar to this location, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's just click on the radars real quick, and we'll come back to this. All of the little letters you see right here, these are all the radars across the country over here in the U.S. Red, unfortunately, that means that is currently offline. It's not working. Could have been storm damaged. If we click on any one of these radars, I'll show you the view from at least this perspective is always round. This is the area of coverage of the central Doppler radar. This is the New Age radar. Many years ago, the radar was a very slow sweeping, like wand that reached out about this far, about not even 50 miles in a circle. Doppler radar can cover a wider area. However, how Doppler radar functions, believe it or not, every one of these radars right now is putting out these pulses that you see, these rings that you see in the atmosphere right now. They're just not visible. The only reason they're visible down here is because of the atmospheric conditions. The atmospheric conditions are ideal for the presence of these rings. That's the energy coming from the radar system, and it's a round dome. Looks like a big white volleyball. Okay, it can't, you're going to see a void right there in the center. That's the only place that this radar can't detect the weather, straight above it. Otherwise, it sends out these pulses of energy in sequence that read the skies, that read the atmosphere. And it sends a return back to the Doppler radar, and then it shows us what we see here on the map. And I'm actually seeing more of these red signatures. These are the ones that we want to watch. One going towards Blountstown, one that just moved through Panama City. A lot of lightning associated with this situation down here. This is a very strong, persistent storm. Just absolutely loaded with energy. I mean loaded with energy. And to me, what we're looking at, this is the flux between the sun, moon, and the earth. This is the aftermath, the lingering energy, if you will, that's getting back into its groove before the eclipse came and kind of stirred things up a little bit. Nothing nefarious happened during the eclipse, and we weren't anticipating anything nefarious. Yeah, maybe a few earthquakes. I will say I have some interesting video footage to share with you guys. But anytime there's severe weather that's in a populated area, I do keep an eye on it, and I keep an eye on it very, very closely. I may not always do a video, but I'm always watching. Just know that. And I felt an urgency to kind of watch and do a video tonight, just in case. I wanted you guys to have every possible advantage, especially at night. I don't like nighttime possible tornadoes. Even the possibility of a tornado at night just makes me cringe. I've seen it happen. You all have seen it happen. And the situation of people laying in bed, just asleep of all, and tornadoes coming through. No, if I have a chance to watch and maybe help somebody, that's great. And I think everybody that does have the ability to watch and look out for each other, do it. Take advantage of it. Let's look out for each other. So I'm just trying to help. Here's another example of the storm system, the energy that's moving in this direction. So it's going to be going tonight. It's already dark in these areas, in Atlanta, in Athens, Georgia, Stockbridge. The stormy conditions are moving in literally right now as I do this video. Griffin, LaGrange, Macon, starting to see some of the red. The red represents height. Okay, that's what the radar, see the Doppler rings over there too. The Doppler rings are going up, and they're feeling the height of the clouds, and they're telling us that the clouds in that area, in places where the red are in the 40,000 foot range. Those are respectable, tall. I call them high walkers. They're tall clouds. Okay, they're moving through the area in coming in right now, and there again are those familiar Doppler radar rings. Those are not anything nefarious, okay? It's just how they work. That's the mechanics of a Doppler radar, and every radar, again, station has those. That's how they work. So if anybody tells you that that's something nefarious, that's just simply not accurate. But again, Atlanta looking at some severe weather, nothing with regard to tornadoes yet, but there is what do we got going on here? Special weather statement. We need to check this out. Here we go. Special weather statement from Peachtree City, Georgia. Go back to that. This was just posted. Or expires in an hour and 12 minutes. But these are important. That's what I like to look for on here, because this is the information coming from the men and women that have access to these radar instruments too, and they're from the National Weather Service. Thank you, Gypsy Heart 777 Foxworth. Here we go. Strong gradient winds associated with the back edge of precipitation band will continue through 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. So see how they keep extending this out into the future? This is obviously well after dark, so we need to stay on this the very best that we can, man. I don't want anybody getting caught off guard after dark with a tornado. It's just terrible. At 8:07 p.m., radar and surface observations indicated strong, gusty winds developing behind a storm system along a line extending from near Blairsville to near Marietta to the I-20 Welcome Center west of Bremen. This area was moving east at 20 miles an hour. Strong gusty winds up to 40 miles an hour. Strong winds have developed behind this system and an increased potential for down trees and power lines, along with blowing of unsecured objects. And that's the thing, these flying projectiles, that's why it's so important to have a plan. Have a room, an interior room with no glass, so you're away from any possible flying projectiles that could compromise the windows on your home. It's happened. I've been in hurricanes. I've seen it. It's a very real thing. Branches can become projectiles. Palm prawns. I've seen palm prawns flying through the air at 75 miles an hour. Anything that's not secured down, like they just said, and that's 100% true. I've seen lawn chairs flying through the sky, trampolines flying through the sky, on and on and on. So get out of the way of that stuff. Be in an interior room, if need be, with no glass. And I'm talking no glass, no jars of spaghetti sauce, no jars of juice, just a room, interior room with no glass, away from the exterior walls. These circles, again, are nothing nefarious. Those are simple Doppler radar rings. Right now, at the very present time, there are no tornado warnings in the Macon, Georgia area, Columbus, south of Atlanta, even though there's some I don't know, there's some pockets of strong thunderstorms, and you can see lightning up in the Atlanta area. There's been a lot, I mean a lot of lightning associated with this storm. At least it's showing up on the radar here. Very energetic. To me, I think this is residual from the eclipse energy. Not that it was anything bad. It's just simply the way it is. You know, the moon is obviously connected to the earth, or it wouldn't be here. The earth is obviously connected to the sun, or we wouldn't be here. So that energy, it experienced a state of flux during the eclipse. A state of flux, that's all. It experienced a state of flux. People in Kerrville and Dallas and Broken Bow, Arkansas, or Oklahoma, the ones that I saw, they experienced a absolutely, I mean, just off the hook. When it got dark like that, the temperature dropped 15 to 20 degrees in a matter of, what, almost it seemed like seconds? Oh, yeah, you know, that's an example. The energy changed just very radically, very, very quickly with regard to, like even the temperature. Well, the energy that you didn't notice and you can't see, it was also in a state of flux. That was just one example right there. The temperature was in a state of flux, right? I mean, it went from 75 to 60. Some areas said it went from 65 down to 55. It just depended on where you were at. Boy, this is looking a little bit ominous in through here. What is going on, Montezuma? Wow, that is that has got a highly unusual. And again, when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the overall picture here, the big picture. The energy's in a state of flux, and because the atmospheric conditions are just right here for the Doppler radar to show us what's going on, because of the moisture and the hot and cold colliding here, creating moisture, creating wind, creating updraft, and all that stuff. We're able to see this energy fluctuating, still fluctuating. So it's causing storms and weather, fronts to collide, and that's the movement here is highly unusual. It's just weird. It's just kind of like all colliding together from all different directions. But for now, the good part is there's no tornadoes in central Georgia right now, and again, that's where this stuff is headed, right in this direction. So if you're in South Carolina, if we're in, where are we at? Let's see, South Carolina. What time is it? 8:30. I'd say by 10:30, especially in the Greenville area. Everything's pretty cool right now. Let's look at the radar in the Greenville area. I'm just curious. I haven't been there yet today. Good right now. Not a problem. But there are storms moving into the area. See them? Over here in far northern Georgia, these storms are trying to get organized. There's pockets of lightning. The rotation here, just overall, is just a little unusual. You want to go back down to the Florida Panhandle? Here we go. You guys ready? Let's do it. Florida Panhandle, do we? Oh, wow. That is a lot. Look at that energy down there. That is just the lightning. Again, I can't emphasize how much lightning I've seen on here. Just thousands and thousands of lightning strikes. Just incredible. Dothan, Dothan is in southeastern Alabama. very heavy rains right now. The orange represents about a 30,000 foot storm. That's a cloud top that the Doppler radar rings. That's the energy that's coming out from the Doppler radar. It's reading 30,000 foot tall storms, 35,000 footers, 40,000 footers right here where you see these bows right there. And those bows, those storm fronts that create what look like a bow shape, those are the ones that you have to watch very, very closely for possible spin-ups of tornadoes. But again, the lightning on the backside of this is just so intense. And that would be offshore right now, but it's moving onshore. That's the thing. And it's already dark in this area. 5:39 here where I'm at. It's 8:39 there, 20 minutes till 9. It's definitely dark. So they being the people in the Florida Panhandle, far southern Alabama, southern Mississippi as well. I know they've been without power in some of these areas today. Louisiana was at one time 150,000 customers without power, 33,000 customers in Mississippi without power, and I'm sure more. We'll check on just how many here in a few minutes, but I wanted to keep an eye on this because I'm watching this area right over here. See this area right here? See how all of this energy is just kind of in a state of flux right now, moving very quickly, which is good. You want it to move through the area fast, especially if it has the potential to create tornadoes. The only thing is the energy is recycling, and it just keeps recycling over and over and over. The conditions are just super prime for this type of weather activity. I want to go back to, real quick, guys, I want to go back to, that one's not working. See the red one above New Orleans? For some reason, it is offline right now, but we're going to go to the closest one we can get. And there again, the line of storms, they're very persistent. Oh, there's pink right there. That's not good. That's right there. Okay, Robertsdale. There's a situation right there between Loxley and Robertsdale. Right there. That's what I've been waiting on, and there it is. That's a 50,000 footer right there, guys. That thing has potential for very large hail, high winds, and a possible rotating component, a mesocyclone. We could see something right there, right now at this very moment, 8:40 Eastern time. Right there, just north of Robertsdale, south of Loxley. That is definitely a component of some sort of possible tornadic activity, at the very least large hail, high winds. Pink represents 50,000, it would be 50 decibels, so 50,000 foot, okay? That's how it reads it. It reads in D's, but we convert it to decibel to feet. So we know how high up this goes, so we can determine how cold the atmosphere is up there and potentially how big the hail can be. That's a 50,000 foot storm, easy. So it could do a lot. Plus, it's loaded with lightning. Look at all that lightning. Are you serious right now? Big heads up. Robertsdale, north of Summerdale, south of Loxley, in fact, moving right towards Loxley. Okay, that's what I've been looking for the last couple hours, this pink right here. I'm hoping this doesn't turn into a tornado, but it has the mechanics to do so. I've seen that time and time again on here. That color right there usually generates something that, is in the tornado range and the 3-inch hail range. 3-inch hail. They're probably getting 3-inch hail in that area right this very moment. This is live radar. So hail is probably coming down south of Loxley, the size at least tennis balls. Can you imagine? Tennis ball size hail? And that might be conservative. That very well could be conservative. I don't know. But if you know anybody in that area, may check on them. Hopefully they're in their safe spot. I can't emphasize enough. Have a safe spot in your home. And share that safe spot with your family. And always have that. I mean, not just now, always have that. Have a dedicated safe spot. So if it's storming at night, like right now, and if people are in bed and they hear these storms, they wake up half tired, they know right where to go. I'm telling you, this area right here, they're feeling it and they're hearing it. That's a big boy. That's a 50,000 foot storm. And they have immense power and strength. That's all there is to it. That's what that is, right there. That's a big, big storm south of Loxley, north of Robertsdale, right now as I do this video. Once again, loaded with energy. There, it just updated. Went through Loxley. Oh, boy. I hope everybody's okay in Loxley. Check it out. Right there it is. See the pink? And it's getting bigger. Oh, wow. It went into purple. That's not good. See the purple? Now we're getting 60,000. 60,000, 60 decibels, 60,000 feet. You just convert it. That's all you do. There it is. That is getting stronger, my friends. That's getting stronger. North of Loxley. And boy, this is heavily set. That would be Loxley, Alabama. And that's moving to the northeast at a very high rate of speed. And that's the only good thing about this. I'm going to circle it right here. It is. This area right here. Loxley, I can't emphasize, boy, they just experienced probably the equivalence of being inside of a car wash full of hail and super heavy rain, high winds. Yeah, that just got stronger. This updates like every 180 seconds, and between the last update and this update, that went from pink to areas of purple, which the Doppler radar is indicating a 60,000 foot elevation, a cloud top 60,000 feet. That is very big and very powerful, and that means it can lift the hail up that high. The higher up it goes, the colder it gets, the longer it stays lofted, and the longer it stays in the cloud tops, the bigger it can accumulate, the faster it's going to come down towards the ground. And that's what's going on right there. Absolutely, without a doubt. I know how to read this radar. I've been reading it for years, and it's not me. The radar is very, very accurate. You just have to know how to interpret what you're looking at. And whenever you see pinks and purples on here, it is on. So just know if you're in this path, that would be, this is assuming it holds together. But we're looking at a direction northeast, obviously, but let's just focus on this one here. Okay, so, whoops, I didn't want to cover up the town. So let's just focus on this one here. Okay, the towns in the path. Century, McDavid. What is that? Atmore, Century, another one. Pollard, Bruton. All of these towns could potentially, Molino, here's another one. It's close. And then, of course, Loxley that just is actually still in it. Loxley is still in it, but it's moving in this direction. Looks like to me it's going to be in a rural area. We'll see how it holds together in this rural area, but that's the one to watch right there. That's the one to watch. So if you're in that path, I highly recommend an interior room with no glass, and it looks like these are getting stronger. This is right on the edge of this system. Big heads up, guys. For real, big heads up. That's a big, big storm. That is a big, tall storm that can do big things. And this after dark scenario with tornadoes is not good. Guys, there's never a good time for a tornado, especially after dark. It's 10,000 times worse. So any heads up that these folks can get in the path of these tornadoes, do it. We don't want people getting caught in nocturnal tornadoes. That is just not cool. Okay, so this is going to update here in a second. It's cycled through twice, and we're still seeing these dark shades of purple and dark pink, and that represents big-time weather. Big-time weather. Moving between Loxley, McDavid, Century. It's going to update here any second. Here we go, getting ready for the next update. Let's just see how it holds together. If it gets smaller, if it gets bigger, if there are more that develop on here. Hopefully not, but this could go on all evening long. Yeah. Oh boy. I'm seeing signs of another one up here north of Atmore and Perdido. This is going to update here any second. Here we go. I'm just waiting on the update, guys. If you're in the path of this thing, please, interior room with no glass. And when I mean no glass, none. You don't want jars of spaghetti sauce above you or anything like that. Just and you know what? The best thing is a basement. Oh yeah. Best thing is I just updated. Hold on. Did it update? Not yet. I'm waiting on an update. I want this to be accurate, so I'm just. It can't update fast enough. I'm wanting it to update, but it will when it's ready. Yeah, that's a big storm there, guys. They're probably there. It did. It just updated right there. Okay, there we go. Oh Lord. Oh no. What? Look at the dark purple. Now, okay, now we got multiple shades of purple. Those are 60 to 65,000 Ds. That's 65,000 feet. Those are big, powerful storm cells right there. Wow. Okay, now what we got to do, we got to look for a hook echo coming off the back side of this thing. We're looking for a tail. Show you what we're looking for. We're looking for a tail. Where are we at? Okay, that is in Loxley. Wow. Yep, there it is, right there. Oh my goodness sakes, right there. Right there it is. Lots of purple. Purple big, purple tall, that's large, large hail. High winds, quite possibly, and very intense rain, by the way. I mean, that's a given. Very intense rain. It's the purple, guys. Oh my! I've only seen that shade of purple on here maybe 3 times, and I've been using this for years. I just felt an urgency to check on this tonight. Guys, if you're in the path of this storm, let me back out so I can show you exactly where we're at. Here we are. This is where this energy is moving, right in through here. You in this area? That area right there. There you go. That's the area that we're focusing on right now because this is the area where the most energy is at. And I'm telling you, it is strong. And it looks like it's getting stronger. The last 3 updates have been stronger each time. Updates every 180 seconds. And it just updated, so we're in between updates right now. But that is a very, very powerful storm. I can't emphasize enough how strong that is right there. Luckily, the only nice thing about that is it's out in a rural area. So if it had to happen, which it did, it happened in a good place. It's out in a rural area. But the only problem is this thing is staying together, it's staying organized, and it's getting stronger. So it's feeding off of something. The lingering energy from the eclipse, it's still hanging around. I have not seen this color on here, but like I said, a handful of times, and the whole time I've been using it. Dark purple? Whoa. That's big. That's a big deal. Okay, and that is in southern Alabama. Let's see if it's anywhere else. These things, you can see that energy just swinging through there at a very fast pace. I don't see it anywhere else, and that's good, but the thing of it is, this is accumulating now. This energy is generating now as it's moving to the northeast, and it's gaining momentum from somewhere. A lot of times, here's the thing, when the sun sets and that energy from the sun goes below the horizon, a lot of times storms will tone down and they get a little weaker, but not always. That's just not always the case. In this case, obviously the sun's down, it's dark here. It's getting stronger, so the energy is coming from other sources, and to me it's just the lingering effects of the eclipse. The energy is getting back into the zone it was pre-eclipse. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of energy, right? Look at all that lightning. Just clusters of lightning right there in that area. Just incredible. I'm telling you, that is unbelievable. I have only seen that dark purple on there maybe 3 times, 4 times tops. That is a big, big, powerful storm right there. In between if we triangulate this area, we would be just south of Bay Minette, now just north of Loxley. This is Alabama we're talking about. and southwest of McDavid. That's where it's at right now. So if we were to triangulate, this is the area right here. So if you're in that area, know anybody that may be in that area, just a big heads up, guys. Big heads up, that's all. That's a big, powerful storm moving to the northeast. And the thing of it is, there could be other ones generating behind this one. It seems like atmospheric conditions are becoming more favorable for the formation of very strong storms. This is in southern Alabama. Right now, things look pretty good over in, for the most part, Mississippi looks pretty good. This energy is getting stronger and seems to be gaining momentum in Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, moving into Georgia. It's kind of an unknown right now what it's going to do when it gets into Georgia. Be prepared, friends. Like this stream so it gets out to others. Oh, thank you, one of a mine. That's very kind. This morning it was Louisiana. Thank you, Miss Handy. Are you? Thank you, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Be safe out there, man. No joke. Be safe out there. Can't emphasize that enough. Especially if you are in southern Alabama right now. We're going to be reading or hearing about this storm system right here. If it continues to make... Okay, there was another update. Okay, it seems to... What are we doing here? Okay, there it is. It's still there. I'm just looking to see if maybe... I'm looking for that hook signature, guys. I'm looking for a tail. I know it's hard to read with it moving. It looks like very pixelated, but you can spot them if you know where to look. It looks like a tail coming down, and it would be dragging behind the system itself, and you'd see what looks like a bow, a little bow echo, almost like a semicircle. And I'm starting to see... we've still got the purple. We don't have the super dark purple. That's good. That means that the cloud top fluctuated. We're in a state of flux here, right? So it fluctuated, but it's still in the 60,000 foot range. It looks like it got a little wider. It's not quite as concentrated as it was, but it's still organized. It's still there. Not seeing any signs of rotation yet. That's good. And I say yet because this is still a very powerful storm, and look what's going on south of it. More purple, right? So we're seeing purple now north of Summerdale, south of Robertsdale, right there. That is new energy that just formed in this last update. So there's going to be more new energy as we move through the evening hours. Doesn't look like this is going anywhere anytime soon, other than the only good thing is moving fast. Like, for instance, this storm right here, north-northeast at 47 knots. That's a pretty good clip. So it's moving fast. It's a fast mover. But if it develops tornadoes, then you just got to be prepared for the tornadoes, guys. Have a safe room, interior room with no glass. Preferably a basement, but I understand not everybody has basements. I get that. We don't have a basement, but we do have a plan. We have a designated interior room with no glass, and everybody knows where to go just in case there were some sort of a rogue storm to move through out here, and it can happen. It can happen anywhere. You know, it's just the mechanics of our atmosphere. We could have a busy monsoon season out here in Arizona. Tornadoes are highly unlikely in Arizona, but in this day and age, it wouldn't surprise me if there was a tornado out here. It really would not. So we do have a plan. Will we ever need it? I hope not. But if we do, we know where to go. And I highly recommend that you guys take 5 minutes and do the same. Walk around the house, pick a room, and that way everybody knows. But this here, that is a very powerful storm, and I'm seeing more signs of that type of energy. So it's just something to be aware of. If you're in south central Alabama, this energy is moving north-northeast into the it's like South Montgomery area. I'm gonna come back to this place. Just remember, this is in the Mobile area, not necessarily directly in Mobile. It's northeast of Mobile, Alabama. That's where we're talking about right now. This energy is moving north-northeast rather quickly towards Montgomery, towards Columbus. Don't think it's going to get up to Birmingham. It could. We don't know what's going to happen here exactly. We're just kind of watching this. It's creating new energy. We've had a round all day long, rounds through Texas and Louisiana. It's still around. It's in Alabama, southern Mississippi, and the Florida Panhandle, where there were two tornado signatures that showed up on here, but I think they were offshore water spouts. They weren't over land, so we're going to assume they were water spouts. That was earlier today. But that could happen above land. That's the concern, especially, being after dark. Okay, I want to go up to, just real quick, we're going to come back to the Mobile area, South Alabama. That's where the major action is at right now. Let's go up here to KMXX, see what's going on. KMXX, that would be in the Montgomery area. Again, these rings, guys, are Doppler radar rings. They're always there. You just can't see them. But they're there. The reason they're visible is because of the atmospheric conditions. Nothing going on up here. You don't see any of the pinks and purples. That's good. That's good. We don't want to see the pinks and purples up here. Not saying they won't show up later, but they're not in that area right now. Going back down to the Mobile area because we're just about ready for an update, I think. And we are. Should be updating any second. It did update. Okay, what do we got? What are we working with? Okay, it's getting stronger. See the pinks and purples again. Looks like a light purple. Getting stronger down here around Robertsdale again. That's where the first system started. This is just east and north of Robertsdale, about 1.5 miles. It's moving very, very quickly. The one we've been watching still has a little bit of that pink, and that's the color that's ominous. Lightening up some, probably recycling, doing what it does, but you still have the burgundies. That's near 50,000 foot, in the high 40s. So this energy is still there, and you can see some over here now. The dark burgundy near Pensacola. Look, north of Pensacola. So this energy isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's actually gaining strength, and I'm seeing more and more dark red coming off the northern Gulf of Mexico waters. This is moving in at a pretty fast pace, moving inland and holding together. In fact, getting stronger when it goes over land. Almost reminds me of what they call it, the brown earth effect or something like that. That's with regard to hurricanes. When a hurricane goes over super saturated land, and I'm not saying that this is super saturated, it thinks it's still above water, and it behaves like it's still above water when the ground is super saturated. That's a whole nother topic of discussion, but that's with regard to hurricanes. We're not dealing with hurricanes here, but we are probably dealing with hurricane force winds at times. Let's see what this one is. This is south of Crystal Lake, Florida. What do we got going on here? Whoops, where did that go? I want to read that. That was a report that was sent in by a local viewer. Panama City reported a wind gust of 49 miles per hour at 3:53 p.m. That was earlier this evening. Got a special marine warning. What that is, I'm not going to even read that to you because it's really simple to summarize. Don't go out in a boat right now along the coast because the waters are very, very rough, especially they give those advisories for small marine craft. And common logic would tell you not to take a small boat out on the water when the winds are howling at 50 miles an hour. It wouldn't be a great idea. So, interior room with no glass if you're in this zone. And the zone right now, let's go over to, real quick, if you guys don't mind, let's go over to, because this is moving towards Georgia, and the Atlanta area is obviously a very densely populated area. Let's just go see what's going on up there right now. Starting to move in up there, at least with the heavy rains. And again, those are Doppler radar rings. That's all they are. Sandy Springs, Stonecrest, Stone Bridge, Forest Park, heavy rains, but we're seeing signs of the strengthening, and that means the cloud tops right through there, southeast of Atlanta, are gaining a little bit of momentum. The darker oranges, the reds you're starting to see, those mean that tells us the clouds are rising. There's lift there. Lift can sometimes create rotation, so you have to be careful there when you see those colors changing color very rapidly. That's an indication of rapid lift. But no rotation, nothing major going on in the Atlanta area. But again, that's a very densely populated area. So all of these areas are important. It's just we don't want to see tornadoes sneak up on a densely populated area. What do we got going on here? Wind gust. What is this here? 40-mile-an-hour wind gust, regional Alabama. This was earlier today. I'm just reading some of these. These are posted by, they're sent in by people from these areas. Talladega, 40-mile-an-hour. That was earlier today. Let's go back down to the Florida Panhandle, see what's going on. The tornado warning just expired 4 minutes ago. I was curious to see if they extended it. They have not, but I wouldn't be surprised if a tornado watch or warning didn't show up over here in South Alabama, maybe southeastern Alabama, south central Alabama. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Again, the rings you see there are just simply Doppler radar rings. They're visible now because of the atmospheric conditions, and they allow for the rings to be seen. They're on every single radar station across the country right now. We just can't see them all. Okay, the purples, pinks are still there, just not as much. That's good. So that means it's cycled through. It looked like it was at its peak out in a rural area, which is great. You know, it didn't peak over a populated area, at least a densely populated area. So you can see it right there. See the pink right there moving through? Right in here. South Central, right there. Southeast of Bay Minette. North of Loxley. That area was a hot spot there for a while. But again, these things they have cycles, and they'll cycle over and over and over again, the ones that are super organized. So, oh, we got flash flooding, it looks like. I'm not surprised. Yeah, flash flood. This would be near Panama City. Let's see what it says, how much rain, because you can tell it's been raining so hard. Source emergency manager reported water on the road near construction site along Front Beach Road. And there's probably here south of Dothan, flash flood again. I am not surprised at all. EM reported roads with 3 to 4 inches of water running across them near Rehoboth, Alabama. That would be in south near Dothan. And I'm sure there are many, many places. This is just the one that was reported. You can see a couple there that were reported. And this is going to continue, guys, for well into the look at how thick the rain is there. Oh my God, that's near Macon. And the reason it's in a circle like that, that's the area that this particular Doppler radar monitors, right in there. That's why it looks like a big circle. It's just simply the range of this particular Doppler radar station that you can see the rings. Those are classic Doppler rings. Very heavy rains there again. So more than likely, this almost looks like it's stalled near Macon, Roberta, Butler. What's this? Marshallville, Montezuma, Buena Vista. See the dark orange and light reds, and there's even a shade of brown in there in between orange and red. That represents a lift. That also represents very heavy condensation in those clouds. So rain is coming down. I don't know. It's very difficult to say. I don't know if I can get the VIL. Let me see if I can get the VIL on this particular area. The VIL is the vertical integrated liquid, and the vertical integrated liquid can tell you how heavy the rain is accumulating, how heavy it's raining in an area like this. And right here, it almost looks like it's stalled. So expect flash flooding in these areas right here. It's going to flash flood there, absolutely. In the Macon, Georgia area, it's stalled out right there. So the rain, where's my VIL? I need the VIL. Where's VIL? Sorry guys, there it is, vertical integrated liquid. I found it. Oh, I gotta turn this off, sorry. Dark blues. Okay, we got some dense areas there. The blues. That's showing like an inch, 2 inches per hour, but that's not. But that's what that is. That's, see right there, vertically integrated liquid. It's a good one to know. It's very helpful at times if you're monitoring storms. 71 north at 71 knots. Trying to see total rainfall accumulation. I know it's going to be very, very thick in this area, and you can see the storms all discombobulated, very unorganized here, almost to the point where it's stalled. Almost to the point where it's stalled. And that looks ominous. That is a ominous looking storm. Very much so, right in this area here. Columbus over to Macon. Again, you got the dark orange. That represents very heavy rainfall, thick clouds, very thick condensation. Who is this person? I don't understand what. Can't do that right now. Okay. Now we're going back to going back down here to the Mobile area. This is where we saw the bright pinks. Let's see if it's still there. Okay. Well, I don't see the pinks and purples. That's good. That's a good thing. But those storms are still, you can see the energy is just recycling over and over and over again, and it will continue for the remainder of the evening. It's coming off the warm Gulf of Mexico. Hey, Miss Pac-Man, thank you. That's very kind. 1974. Reason I saw that, it just lit up bright green over here to my right. That's where the chat room's at. I'm trying to focus on this. I need super res right there. Super res. We need super duper. Where's super res? Sorry guys, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. Where is the super res? Oh, right there. Oh, super res tilt 1. There's what we want right there. Yeah, super res tilt 1. There's tilt 1, tilt 2, tilt 3, tilt 4. This has a lot of different features, and they all tell you something different. I'll tell you something different. I can show you one. Well, I'm not going to go to it right now. It's called the correlation coefficient, and it can show you actual rotation on the radar. But right now, there's no cause for to even go look at that because there's no rotation anywhere right here, which is, holy cow, just lit up bright orange over there. Christos, how you doing, Christos? Thank you. You are very welcome, my friend. That was very kind of you. Thank you, Christos. Way to go. All right. So, I'll show you what it looks like real quick. Just to, it's actually very hard to read. Watch. Oh, there it is right here. And it too has tilt 1, tilt 2, tilt 3, tilt 4. Okay, let's see. Can you make heads or tails out of that? This can tell you, basically what it'll tell you is this. If there's any flying debris in here. And you have to look for certain signatures. I took a school on this a long time ago, but it's still the same. You look for debris signatures, and there's a certain type of debris. Some debris can be leaves. It just depends. It's a little confusing, I know, but that will tell you if there's a tornado, like if we were to zoom in here and see a certain type of imagery, certain type of signature, that would tell you, hey, there's a tornado there. But we'll go back to the basic radar and no pinks, no burgundies, a little bit of light orange, moving fast. Tornado warnings are non-existent right now, but that doesn't mean let your guard down because this is still a large, fast-moving system that has potential. There we go. Okay, I wanted to go up to Dothan. They're experiencing flash flooding. I am not at all surprised. This rain's going to continue for probably the next few hours. We'll go up to Macon. I'm just kind of, basically what I'm doing is this. I'm going to take a look at the path of this storm. Oh, what was that bright green over there? Becky Heffernan, everyone please listen to Mr. B and stay safe. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of me like that. I am trying to help. I really am. I've been in situations like this where there were tornadoes, and this was right, or tornadoes, 1995, I was in a tornado. '04, before we really got this fancy software, was in the hurricanes, and wow, again, this type of software wasn't even available back then. I learned on the old school maps, but this is the way that the energy is moving towards Greenville, South Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and let's just take a quick look at the path that this energy is headed towards. Again, this energy has a lot of potential. It could, I'm not saying it will. Look at the weird rotation of that thing. I mean, it just has a very peculiar presentation, a very peculiar presence, satellite presentation. That's all. It's just like a big glob of energy. I wasn't kidding when I said lingering eclipse energy. I was not kidding. Okay, that's the way I see it. Okay, we're going up to... Okay, this is in the Greenville, South Carolina area. So looking over into Athens, which is east of Atlanta, not too much going on right now, but notice how the Doppler radar goes from pretty much non-existent to, voila, there it is. So that tells you that moisture is moving in, cloud cover is moving in, and it's probably going to start to get very rainy there soon. Not seeing any signs of tornadoes, and that is great. That's great. That's what we wanted to see. But see the green arrows here? That tells us there's probably flood warnings. Yes. Figured that with the, oh wow, for the next 6 hours. Okay, there you go, guys. Let's read this real quick. This will kind of give us an idea of how much rain has already fallen and how much more is expected. I am not at all surprised because it has been raining so heavy here for so long. Where did that go? Okay, right there. Flash flood warning. Let's just read this. This is from the National Weather Service out of Tallahassee. There's way too many counties to name. Look at that. Most of these are in southern Georgia, southwestern Georgia. This is fresh, hot off the press. 9:12 p.m. Eastern Time. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Flash flooding caused by thunderstorms. Radar flash flooding of small creeks, streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other poor drainage and low-lying areas. And here's the thing. Creeks, the components that manage the water, like they just said, the creeks, the storm drains, and things like that are going to become overwhelmed. And the water has nowhere to go but up into people's yards, up onto the roads and things like that. So you got to be extremely cautious. And the area that they're talking about is right in here. I'm going to draw a circle. This area right now, and this is definitely going to change because it's still raining in this area. And this is the area that we were talking about earlier, how it looked like the storm had stalled. And apparently it is. Just kind of stalling over this area, and it's just raining in the same area over and over and over and over and over. So expect flash flooding anywhere from Donaldsonville to Camilla, Albany, Dawson, Blakely. And then, not to exclude, same situation, or actually there's two other locations right down here just south and west of the one that we just spoke of. This covers an even wider area from Dothan, Geneva, Graceville, Chipley, Dupinac Springs, Allies Beach, Destin, Niceville, Port St. Joe, Panama City, Lynn Haven, Crystal Lake. This whole area, flash flood warning. Let's see for how long. The other one was 6 hours. Let's take a look at this one. How long? 2 hours and 12 minutes. And the second one, 11 minutes. So obviously the farther north you go, the longer the flash flood warning persists. The one up here in southern Georgia, 6 hours. The next 6 hours, we're talking 3 o'clock in the morning, potential flash flooding. So this is going to continue on for many hours, guys. This is a long duration event. Christos Kaludis out of Cleveland, Arizona. Not raining up in Cleveland, Arizona. Cleveland, Ohio. I was thinking Arizona. It's not raining up there. Let's look, though. Let's go look and see. I don't think it is. Cleveland, the great Cleveland. It is raining a little bit. Light showers up in Cleveland, but doesn't look like anything super off the hook, which is good. But there are some showers moving through northeast. At how fast are they moving? 40 knots. 37 knots. And this is in the Cleveland, Toledo, Ohio area, moving out over Lake, I believe that's Lake Erie. Is that Lake Erie? Yeah, Lake Erie. All right, so it is raining up there as well. Just rain, though. Nothing major going on, but we are going to see some flash flooding tonight. Right now, I don't see any tornadoes in the area, which is great. That is absolutely awesome. Got some high winds still in the area. What I'm seeing, guys, it looks like this system, this lingering energy is stalling in this area, and it's going to rain over the same area for several hours. So if you're in those areas, expect flooding. That's better than tornadoes. So we'll take the flooding, moderate flooding. We don't want catastrophic, just moderate flooding any day over a tornado. All right, guys, that's all I got for now. I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you, Christos. I appreciate that. That's super kind. I want to thank all of you for stopping by. I appreciate all the likes and shares and all that. I really do appreciate it. I wanted to stay on here until I didn't see anything that looked like tornadoes. That doesn't mean that they can't form later on this evening, because they certainly can. Weather is unpredictable. It can be predictable to a certain degree, but it's always got that unpredictable component. That's why we have to watch it. So stay on your toes, have a safe room, be more cognizant if you're in especially in southern Georgia, of potential flooding issues, because this storm system, a big part of this storm system is stalling. So it's going to rain a lot. Rain is going to pile up. So be ready for flooding, and as always, be ready for tornadoes. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Once again, be safe out there. Seriously, it's not done yet. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.